Um, I just want to come here with a transparent post, with a transparent message. Um, Sometimes you have to bow out to win. Like sometimes you just have to quit. I know we have been instilled with quitters never win. Fight to the last end. Fight to the last battle. Sometimes you got to know when to throw in that towel. I swear. Sometimes you have to know when to throw in the towel. Sometimes you have to say, you know what? Enough is enough. Sometimes you have to give up. Sometimes you have to say, you know what? You won. You won. You are right. You are 100% correct. You're 1,000% correct. I'm leaving. I'm done with this shit. Okay? And I want to talk about that because a lot of times we as people, we don't do that. It's like we suffer and we sacrifice for so much, right? It's like we suffer and we sacrifice to be right, to be loved, to be honored, to be respected, right? Like we sacrifice to for people to look at us a certain way. And everything that we're sacrificing and we're suffering in is not pouring into us at all. What is the meaning? What is the meaning? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. When you're in the point of your life when you are fighting a battle where you won't be provided anything after you win this battle, what is the point? What is the point of the fight? What is the point of the fight? At this point, why am I fighting? Why? Like, why am I fighting with you? Because at the end of this fight, at the end of this argument, at the end of this disagreement, there isn't going to be any change. There isn't going to be any change. There isn't going to be any compromise. There isn't going to be any, well, you know what? I thought about what you said, and you making me move a certain way, and I want to do things a little bit different. There will be none of that. Why am I fighting? Because you have to understand, it doesn't matter who you're with or who you love. You can never outfight somebody within themselves. Like you can't outfight somebody within themselves. Like I can't fight you to change. Like I can't fight you to do something different. Like I can't fight that because that particular innate reaction for you to change comes within you. I can't fight that. So sometimes you got to give up and say, fuck this shit. Literally. You got to give up. Hi. Hi. Sometimes you got to give up and done. I mean, because when you put yourself in a position where you are fighting a losing battle, you are sacrificing your emotions, you're sacrificing your integrity, you are sacrificing your happiness, you are sacrificing your love, you are sacrificing your intelligence. You are sacrificing your intelligence, okay? Understand that. You are sacrificing your intelligence because within this fight, like like this is wrong. Like for sure and for certain everything that you're inquiring and feeling in this particular relationship, situationship does not benefit you at all. It is bringing your spirit down. It is draining you mentally, physically, emotionally. But yet you are fighting, and then the longer you fight, the longer you lose your intelligence because it doesn't make any sense. Why are you fighting for something that doesn't make any sense? It would never make any sense. Sometimes you have to just say, you know what, I give up, I quit. Okay? And I'm saying that from experience. I don't really talk about my personal business. I don't. When I'm on here and I'm on YouTube, I don't know if you guys follow me or, you're subscribed to me or you watch a lot of my videos. A lot of my videos I talk about, emotions and, intuition. I'm very clairvoyant. I have a lot of clear abilities that I utilize within my life. But today I want something to tell me to be just a little bit more transparent for what I don't know. Maybe somebody else needs to hear this. I literally just walked away from a 10-year relationship. Starting all over, moving. I walked away from a dog I thought died. Apparently, a dog wasn't mine, but I walked away from a dog that I thought I was mine, and I'm literally starting all over. I cut my hair bald. I have no hair under here. Okay, I'm probably about a month, maybe like a month out of like transition. Like I literally just cut all my hair off. You want to know why? In my 10-year relationship, my hair was a topic because for a long time, I can say this, for a long time I didn't really care. I didn't take care of my hair. Let's say that. For a long time I didn't really take care of my hair the way I should have took care of my hair. And between that, stress, wearing weaves, not taking care of what's underneath, my hair suffered a lot. My hair is really damaged. But within that 10-year relationship, my hair was talked about a whole fucking lot. Okay? My hair was talked about so much in that 10-year relationship that I left. I had to like cut it all off because I said, I know hair holds emotions and I know hair holds trauma. I just cut it all off. I was like, I'm just going to start over. I'm just going to start over and I'm going to start new. I'm going to start over and I'm going to start new with everything. And that's literally what I did. And I want to come in here and say that because if you're looking from the other side of what I just said, you would look at me like, oh yeah, she failed. Oh yeah, she failed that. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm putting all of my energy and I'm putting all of my intelligence and I'm putting all of the things that I know that I have inside of me into something that's greater. Myself, my integrity, and you have to understand what you're in. And when you start being in situations where those situations are not benefiting you at all, you start doing some messed up shit. You do. Because at this point you feel like, well, you don't care. You don't give a F. You don't want to leave me alone. You say like you want to stay, but then you treat me like you don't like me. I don't care anymore. I'm about to go do something reckless. And even in that, you start losing your integrity because being in those situations changes you. Okay? Being in those situations change you. Being in that predicament change you. And sometimes you just got to quit. You just got to throw your hands up. I'm done. I am done. I am finished. Y'all see all this shit in my car? Like literally, like I just finished moving out of the apartment I was in yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, the day before yesterday. Which was, I don't know, time's going by so fast. I really don't know. Whatever, this week. Literally, still have stuff in the car. I have not touched. I just say, you know what? I'm done. I am done. You cannot fight someone. You can't outfight someone from themselves. I can't. Like I can come to you and I can tell you the things I don't like. I can tell you the things that make me feel some type of way. I can tell you what it is. I can tell you what it ain't. But in the meantime, you have to be the main one to make that decision. Like you have to make that decision to see, you know what? Let me see if I can alter that just a little bit to make sure we have make sure we good here. If you can't do that, I can't fight you for that. It just is. I can't fight you for that. And people have to understand it's okay to say, you know what, I'm done. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm done. It's okay to say, you know what, I give up. Because I don't know why we have been told, oh, you do quitters never win. In some circumstances, yes, it is imperative. I'm going. It is imperative for you to keep on fighting. But when you are in a situation with someone else, you can outfight someone within themselves. You will never be able to outfight someone within themselves. If you're in a situation in life where you have to keep on striving, and thriving and living. So, you're fighting, temptations within yourself, and you're fighting to stay strong, and you're fighting, keep your morale up, and you're fighting. That's how you fight within this realm. You can't fight against somebody for themselves. Like, you just can't. Like, it's impossible. Like, you will never be able to outfight someone within themselves, for themselves. Because literally, a lot of times, that's what we do. In these situations, we get in these relationships, and instead of us experiencing each other, what does experiencing mean? Experiencing each other, seeing how you are acting in a totality. And once I experience you in this totality, I have the choice and a decision and the judgment to say if I want to put myself in your area to experience you. Okay. And maybe times during that experience, you might say, hey, I don't know if you know, but when you did this, or you said this way, or, that made me feel uncomfortable, you kind of hurt my feelings, or, that made me feel some type of way, then that will be that person's choice to say, okay, well, I did do that, and I did say that. I didn't know that it affected you that much, but, I would change. But you trying to fight someone to change, it would never work. It would never. It will never work. And then a lot of people say they want to change, but then they will literally despise you and don't like you because now they feel like you are forcing them to do something that they don't want to do. So if you are in a situation where you are, quote unquote, forcing someone to do better, at the end of the day, that won't work either, because now they literally don't like you. they don't like you anymore, okay? They don't like you anymore. You are taking them out of the things that they want to do within their life, whether it's bad or if it's good, whatever. It's all by free will. But once you start trying to force and make somebody do something, it's not going to happen. Either they're going to leave or they're going to stay and they're going to despise you. They're not going to like you. So that's why you sometimes just got to give up. I quit. You have to give up and say, I quit. Because you have to start pouring that, whatever you pouring into that situation, that it's like pouring water into a bottomless well. It's never going to get full. It's never going to get full. It's never going to get full. There's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be something to a point where you can't fill that cup up. Like, your cup is never going to be filled up in those situations. Your cup is never going to be filled up. Your cup is never going to be, you're never going to be satisfied within those situations, because you are continuously trying to make a situation work, trying to have someone else see themselves on how you experience them, but nothing is being poured back to you but criticism, people that will criticize you, people that talk about you, people that make you feel less than yourself. That's why you have to have a self-inventory of yourself. You have to be very self-aware of who you are in a relationship, in life, period. Not even in a romantic relationship, in life, period. You have to have a checklist of the things that you consist of. You have to, because if you're not aware of the things that you are consist of, the things that make you you, people will downplay you in your face. People will downplay what you do in your face, and you will literally stay because you start believing the shit that they done told you about yourself. You got to know who you are at all times. You got to know what your strength is. You got to know what your strengths are. You got to know what your weaknesses is. You got to know what you need to work on. You got to know what you need to push back. Those things are imperative to survive in this world. They are fucking imperative. And the reason why they're imperative is because a lot of people will see and notice and accept. Okay? Let me rewind that. They will see, they will notice, and they will accept the things that you offer. Okay? But in the meantime, they will try to do, I always call them Jedi tricks, right? They always try to do a Jedi trick to make you believe what you offer is nothing, to make you believe what you have isn't that sufficient, to make you believe what you do isn't that important, because as soon as you know what you're doing, as soon as you know the things you're bringing into the table, as soon as you know the importance of your status within any relationship, are going to want some reciprocation. You're going to want some reciprocation. And a lot of times people are so selfish, they don't want to reciprocate. They just want to take and take and take and take and take and take. That's why, that's just like, I use analogies a lot. So that's just like you saying, okay, well, I want you to bake me a cake. And you go and bake the cake, and then you hand them the cake, and then they say, oh, yeah, you baked this cake, but it wasn't all that good. I mean, I know I ate it because there was nothing in here for me to eat, but next time you need to do something different. And next time that cake wasn't all that. I could have went to go get that cake from the store, but then every time you seeing them, they asking you for a piece of your cake. Well, which one is it? Which one is it? Because it can't be both. It can't be both. Which one is it? Do you want the cake? Do you enjoy the cake? Do you want to eat the cake? Or you're going to criticize me for baking the cake and the cake is nasty? Because it can't be that nasty because your ass is eating it. Which one is it? Which one is it? You're not making any sense. This isn't freaking the math ain't mathing, like people say. This math is not mathing. So which one is it? So a lot of people don't want to tell you that what you're doing is good, or they appreciate you, or they're grateful for you, because they don't want you to get too big-headed. To them giving you, to them letting you know, or giving you just that, no, you doing good, thank you, I appreciate you, thank you, I'm so grateful for you, thank you, I appreciate the things that you do for me. They believe in return those things are going to make you too big-headed, right? When people don't want to do those things, don't give you your appreciation, your flowers, as people say today, they believe giving you your flowers. Am I cut off? Like giving you, what is going on? If you guys can hear me, what is going on? Did it cut off? Yeah, I know I had to hurry up and switch the camera. I don't know what's going on. But people who can't give you your props or can't acknowledge the greatness in you, a lot of times they don't want to do that because they think that's going to make you big-headed. That's why when you're in situations with people and you like, okay, well, I'm not getting any, you're getting the benefit of me, but I'm not receiving anything. There's no reciprocation to what I'm giving you. Like there isn't even any, not even monetary wise. There's no even words of like what's really going on. And a lot of times those people don't want to give you even those words of encouragement, those words of acknowledgement, because they believe then that they are kissing your ass. How? I'm the one that's doing all the work. How are you kissing my butt? I'm confused. Like that doesn't make any sense. So you have to know when to throw in the towel. You have to know when it's time to give up. You have to know when it's time to say nope, enough is enough. You cannot outfight someone in their own personal struggles. You can't, or you will be like a punching bag. Now, if you like to be a punching bag, then that's fine. If you want to be victimized, I guess that's fine. But you have to understand what that stuff is, because a lot of times people need clarity to get shit done. They need clarity to see. And sometimes you got to be by yourself to do some self reflection to see what's really going on within you, to see what's inside of you. Sometimes you got to be separated. Sometimes you got to be separated from your family, separated from people that you quote unquote love. I'm separated from your relationships or whatever, so you can get a full just on who you are. You have to do that. Because if you don't, you'll be going every which way, and people like to think that they are who they are, but your action speaks louder than what you feel like you want to be made of. Your energy is going to come off. Your people going to read your energy before they read your actions. And if your energy isn't matching what you say about yourself, and your actions even isn't expressing the energy that you are portraying, you aren't who you say you are. Now, a lot of people want to be certain things. They want to be a certain way, but in reality, they're not. They don't have enough dedication. They don't have enough perseverance. They don't have enough intelligence. They don't have enough integrity. They don't have enough the love within them to be the person they are. You have to self-reflect. You have to do a lot of pointing out the flaw you have to do that. I know my flaws. There is somebody cannot come up to me and say, hey, you know you don't do it. I know I'm not perfect. I know I have flaws. I know. That's why a lot of times I'm judged. I know I'm not flawless. I like Beyonce. I like that song Flawless, but I'm not flawless. Like, no one's walking this earth is flawless. But yet and still, that doesn't mean that me acknowledging my flaws doesn't mean that you don't have any. You have some flaws too. But you have to get into that point where you are vulnerable enough within yourself. A lot of people don't even want to be vulnerable within themselves. That's some scary stuff. If you can't tell yourself the truth, if you can't tell yourself the truth, if you don't know the truth within yourself, you are, that is pretty fucking frightening. You are delusional. You're delusional. You are living in la land. If you cannot see the truth within you, that's why you got to get to your truth. You got to get to what makes you flawed. You got to get to what makes you tick. You got to get through the things that you went through in your life, because a lot of things that we endure and the things that we experience in life, they change you if you're not careful. If you're not careful enough to do a self-inventory and say, you know what, I don't want that residue of that experience on my life. So I'm going to do my best to try to digest this experience, so this experience doesn't have anything to do where I want to be today. If you can't digest that, if you can't get into a space where you can do that within yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to be the person you say you want to be. Because people, being in this world is very impressionable. Like, that's why they say children are innocent, because they haven't been through anything, right? They haven't been through nothing. They haven't saw nothing there. There are literally like balls of joy and light and love, and they laughter. They're very pure. They're very honest, right? They don't have any just of lying and being deceitful and using people. A child doesn't know anything about that, or judging people. A child doesn't know anything about that. So you are very impressionable once you enter this particular world, earth, once you enter this particular realm. And by us being so impressionable, the things that we experience in our childhood with our parents, they those things put another layer on us. It put another layer of the world, how they view it, on us. And a lot of times, just because you have that layer of of exposure on you from your parents, that doesn't mean that layer is supposed to be with you all your life. That doesn't mean that layer is going to fit in the life that you want to live. But what we do today is we'll just take everything that we've been dealt with, and then we believe that makes us who we are. In one sense it does, but in another sense, a lot of times those things does not require to be in your life just because you experience those things. So like I said, if you're not able to digest truthfully, because I see the things that I suffer from within my childhood, within my shadow work, within the things that make me feel some type of way within, my my struggles, and I still struggle with that, but I still acknowledge those things are there, and I try to make a clear description of where I want to be in life and the things that I experienced in life. It's two totally different things. So I just want to come in here and tell y'all, like, it's, if you figure like you are fighting a losing battle, okay, sometimes it's okay to step back and regroup. It's okay. You have not failed. Okay, you are not a failure. All right, things, you just made a left turn, you got lost, turn back around, keep and find some instructions. Okay, don't fight to the point where you're just, because you have to win, but what are you winning? Sometimes you will gain more from just bowing out of the situation. Sometimes you will gain more for just bowing out the situation. Sometimes you will gain more with just realizing, like, you know what? I done get everything I can do. I done gave everything I can possibly give. And by me knowing the place I want to be in life, me being in this place with you is not, I'm not going to be who I know I am. I'm not going to be the person that I work so hard to be. I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be something different. So in order for me to stay on my grid of life, and for me to stay on my grid of acknowledgement, I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to move. I'm going to keep on thriving. I'm going to get some more information. I'm going to do some things different, but I will never give up on myself. And that's another thing. Like, we fight for things. You're not supposed to give up on yourself. You're not supposed to give up on yourself. You're supposed to keep going. You're supposed to keep thriving. You're supposed to keep learning. You're supposed to be in certain spaces for you to keep growing. But a lot of times you in certain spaces and you're the only one that's watering. You're the only one that's planting. You're the only one that's feeding the situation. And eventually you ain't gonna want to water, do nothing, because you're gonna be depleted. Okay, you can only do so much. Sometimes you have to quit to win. Okay, sometimes y'all out and say, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna keep on moving. Okay, so that's all I have to say. All right, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.